I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be very real. It's not. It's been very clear that I don't like Stephanie White as coach, Caitlin Clark. Um, I made that clear a year ago. I was the first person being like, "Yeah, this just doesn't fit." If you guys agree, subscribe. We have have we gained a subscriber? Yes, we have. We've been 16 subscribers in the last week. We are trying to get to 60k. I think we might get it in about a year. At this rate, but yeah, we can talk about this right here, and this is talking about how they lost the game. Was Caitlin Clark's turnovers an impact on them losing the game? Yes, of course it was. Are the Fever in that game without Caitlin Clark? No. No, we know that. The Fever are getting completely... If not for Caitlin Clark, the Fever get completely blown out in that first half. The only reason that they weren't killed after 56 first half points with a team who can't play offense was because Caitlin Clark, and to a lesser extent Kelsey Mitchell, absolutely cooked them in the first half. That being said, Caitlin Clark was not good in the second half and was a big reason why he blew out third quarter. But we got to be real here. This was an 8-point game with 6 minutes to go. Caitlin Clark's third quarter turnovers did not lose them a game. That was an 8-point game with 6 minutes to go. Like, she hadn't turned the ball over in the second half until it was a 1-point game. Like, they were already in the shitter. Whatever happened at halftime, they were already in the shitter. But, of course, Stephanie White, does she, defend her player? Does she defend her player? No. And look at Caitlin Clark's reaction here when she talks about what lost them the game.
I think it started with our turnovers. We had 9 turnovers. They had 11 points off of those turnovers. It's hard for us to recover when they get those direct points, and there's no transition defense for those kinds of turnovers, and it gave them a little momentum and it gave them a boost.
And immediately, Caitlin Clark, as soon as it's the turnovers, it's like you can see her, like, I don't know what you can say about this emotion, but as soon as she sees the word turnovers, look at Caitlin's face.
I think it started with our turnovers. We had 9 turnovers. They had 11 points off of those turnovers.
And the odds of this being like Caitlin being like, oh shit, turnovers were this bad, is high. At the same time, she knows. She was on the floor for the 13-0 run. She was on the floor for it. But I'm being real here. Like, we all know that. It's like saying, like I've been on teams where like coaches have, not publicly, even privately, been at the end of a game. Like I played a sport you guys don't know called hurling at a fairly high level. And I played in goal. I have lost games for my team because I have fucked up at the end of a game. I have won a county championship for my school because I made a point-blank save where I just dived on the ball, dived at somebody, and the ball hit me and went out. With 5 seconds to go in the game, we were up 2 points. I've had the highest of highs and lowest of lows. And I've lost more, like I've lost in my life playing goal and hurling. I probably played 150 games. Not with my team, I probably lost 17 games. And of those 17 games, 3 were my fault. And as a player, and especially when you're in that position, when you're in a position where you have so much responsibility on whether a team wins or loses, at the end of the game, if like there's a big difference between at the end of the game, a coach being like, look, we can take positives out of this game. We're playing well. We've got them next week. Versus a coach who both these have happened. Coach saying, look, we were by far the better team, but just a mistake at the end of the game is the reason we lost that game. One of them is essentially the coach letting it be known to the public, letting it be known to your teammates that you are the reason we lost this game. Because you better believe Caitlin Clark is already blaming herself. Like, she's already blaming herself. And I'm going to be real here. what she is basically saying, because every single one of those turnovers was Caitlin Clark. Or nearly every one of those turnovers was Caitlin. She is essentially not naming but blaming Caitlin Clark on losing that game. And I'm being real. Caitlin Clark was not the reason they lost. Was she part of the reason they were bad in the second half? Yes. Was she part of the reason why they lost the second half? Yes. The Indiana Fever lose that game by 30 without Caitlin. Caitlin was the reason they were in that game. Heck, even in the fourth quarter, Caitlin still had, everyone talks about Caitlin in that second half. At least she was doing something. Kelsey Mitchell had 0 points in the second half. At least she was doing something. A lot of bad, but at least she tried. At least she tried. But yeah, look, it's annoying, and anyone who's played sport knows. And again, it's very different when you are the player that's going to get the majority of the blame in a loss. And it's a weird one with the Fever in the media, because I saw a tweet and it was I saw a post, and this is so accurate. I got this screenshot. It was from a Reddit post. I tried to find the actual post and I couldn't. Somebody posted this. Loss. If the Fever lose, must be Clark shooting. No, that was on point. Must be her turnovers. Oh, not Thursday. Must be her defense. Oh, she's her best friend on her team. Must be her complaining about calls. Oh, they missed 7 or 8 and 1 calls every game. Must be blaming calls. Oh, they missed 7 or 8 and 1 calls every game. Well, then it's tension in the locker room. Whilst that Raven says there's no one better in the locker room. Well, she flops. Or actually she plays through contact. While Jordan Canada and Veronica Burton are above themselves. And it's one thing, we all know when it comes to the Stan Wars on social media, where it's yes, in a fan battle, it's always going to be, when they win, it's all Caitlin. When they lose, it's never Caitlin. But the problem is with the media, it's the opposite. When they win, it's all Kelsey Mitchell. And when they lose, it's all Caitlin. Kelsey Mitchell is the best player on the team until Kelsey Mitchell has 0 points in an entire half. And they lose that half. They completely get destroyed in that half. And then it's it's Caitlin Clark's fault. Kelsey Mitchell can have 0 points. Aaliyah Boston can get herself in foul trouble and not be on the floor. Lexi Hull can go out after scoring 10 points in the last 4 games and just keep posting her TikToks promoting her makeup brand, which, again, she's well within her right to do. But fans are well within their right to be pissed off at that. It is what it is. I'm not telling her what to do. Because I'm being real, the makeup brand is probably worth a lot more. It's probably worth a lot more than her basketball brand. And Lexi Hull probably has 3 or 4 more years in her WNBA career. And that makeup brand is something for life. You're being she needs to get her priorities in order. And I'm being real, the makeup brand is realistically a higher priority to Lexi Hull, and rightfully so, in the WNBA. But as a fan of the team, you can be pissed off at that. You have the right to be pissed off at that. On a human level, I have no issue with what Lexi Hull is doing. But as a fan of a team, it pisses me off. And you've got then this here where, again, every time they lose and Caitlin's been bad, she doesn't name Caitlin, but she'll blame Caitlin. Stephanie White. And this is not how you protect a player. And even if she's trying to just say, oh, our whole team turned the ball over. It's not, I don't think people understand. Equally as big a reason why they lost the game was that they put up 60 points in the first half and they were up 3. All they had to do was a team. And by the way, near 0 fault on Caitlin Clark. Because Caitlin Clark's defense in the first half, other than leaving Pow Pow open once, was actually pretty good. They were getting cooked by everyone. In that first half. The fact is that the Indiana Fever were pathetic on defense in the first half. And if the Indiana Fever had played any sort of decent defense, they go into the second half up 18 points, and this game is different. If they concede, even if they concede 40, 45, which is still a lot of points to concede in a half, or a decent chunk of points to concede in a half, more than their average. Even if they concede 45 and a half, they are still then up by 14 points going into halftime. And they can have that blip in the third quarter, or they have all the momentum in the third quarter. They can have that blip. But no, they go up 11 points halfway through the second quarter and then just concede bucket after bucket after bucket after bucket after bucket. That is equal. That is of equal reason for losing the game as the turnovers. The fact that, am I right in saying Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell combined for 4 points in the second half? And the fact you were all out of ideas, that you threw on Damaris Dante to start the fourth quarter when it was in crunch time, and you put on Ty Harris with 7 minutes to go for Kelsey Mitchell. You pulled Kelsey. It's an 8-point game with 7 minutes to go, and you pull Kelsey Mitchell. Like, I've never heard Stephanie White say, I made a wrong decision. I made a wrong read. And by the way, you don't want the coach to go out there blaming themselves every single game. But it's been 2 years. Stephanie White has not criticized her system once. She's not criticized her coaching decisions once. And every coach I know, especially a coach that is reactionary, who constantly changes their game plans, every single coach has said, look, I got the game plan wrong. At least once in their career. I messed up the game plan. And it's not even slight accountability. Every game they lose, it feels like it's a sneak this at Caitlin Clark. And look, I get it. I think they like each other as people. There is no worse fit as far as coaches and player is concerned than Stephanie White and Caitlin Clark. And it's this weird thing in the WNBA because they don't dislike each other as people. That therefore they have to continually play with each other. No, it's like Mike D'Antoni coaching Kobe Bryant. It just didn't work. Mike D'Antoni was an unbelievable coach. Kobe Bryant was one of the greatest of all time. It didn't work. It just didn't work. Anyway, I'll see you guys.